Thank you once again for inviting Fresh for Europe to be part of this very important event, this very important time for the European Union, but as well as for the Moldovan fresh produce sector. My name is Egle Bake. I represent today here Fresh for Europe as the food director for food quality and security. So today I'm going to be talking a little bit about Freshfel, about its activities, but also about the new European political environment, new sustainability approach in the European Union, and what challenges the European production is facing today in order to access the European consumer. So Freshfel is an association representing the entire European and non-European fresh produce sector. We're located in Brussels, in Belgium, to be close to the European institutions like the European Commission and the European Parliament, to be able to represent in the best way possible the needs of the fresh produce sector. Today, within our membership, we have approximately 120 associations and companies from all around the supply chain. So our membership is vertical membership and is structured from production through trade, distribution segments, service providers, down to retailers. So to secure the availability and diversity of fresh fruits and vegetables to the European consumers and world at affordable conditions is key priority for Freshfel's activities. We also work to build the good image, positive image of fruits and vegetables, because this is the area where we're struggling at this point. We also work to improve efficiency and competitiveness of the sector, assist the members in compliance with ambitious performance standards, to facilitate international trade of fresh produce, secure favorable environment to promote the benefits of fresh produce and share best practices, and finally to stimulate the consumption, which today stands at around 350 grams a day, which should be minimum amount 400 grams a day per each European consumer. So these are the companies on the left side which we represent today at the European level, from Europe as well as outside Europe. We do not only engage with the European Commission and the European Parliament at the European level, but we go beyond. And we also work with international organizations such as FAO, WTO, UNEC, OECD, as well as the private sector such as Global Gap. We also engage with partner associations and coalitions to ensure that global and industry-wide reach and coherency, such as the Global Coalition of Fresh Produce or Agri-Food Chain Roundtable for Plant Protection Products. This keeps us forefront of the entire process of the European policymaking and helps us to do the best for our members and the sector. We are open to the membership at any point, so if there are companies interested in the membership to be closer to the European advocacy part directly, they are always welcome to join Freshfel. So 2024 was an important year for the fresh produce sector as well as for all the agri-industry in the EU. In June this year, we had the European elections for the European Parliament. And this graph represents the outcome of the elections. So the European People's Party took a majority of the seats in the composition of the entire parliament, followed by the Social Democrats and Renew Europe. This helps, having this scheme and having this distribution of the seats in the European Parliament helps us to promote our activities and also to advocate better for the sector. And define the future possible actions and initiatives of the European politicians. Accordingly, given the outcome of the elections in the European Parliament, Ursula von der Leyen was reappointed as the President of the European Commission. And accordingly to the outcome of the European elections in the European Parliament, the setup of the new Commission College was also distributed around the majority coming from these political parties. So we have 14 seats from the European People Party, followed by 5 seats from the Renew Europe and 4 seats from Social Democrats political party. But it is very important for us to reflect on the policies related to European agriculture, as well as the food safety policies and health policies. Over the last 5 years, we're dealing with an initiative of the Commission, so-called the European Green Deal, and the objective set under the Farm to Fork strategy. The European Green Deal is over. The European Green Deal didn't deliver the expected results, and that resulted into huge demonstrations in the streets by the farmers at the beginning of this year all across the European Union. As a result of this chaos, Ursula von der Leyen, the President of the European Commission, took the dossier of agriculture into her own hands and elaborated, together with the support of third parties, a report to move towards a strategic dialogue on agriculture involving the European sectors. As a result of that, in August this year, the Commission, Ursula von der Leyen, published a report of 100 pages to reflect on the future of European agriculture. The report itself is moving for more sustainable and competitive agriculture, for more sustainable food systems, more transformative resilience, including the greenhouse emissions, for more attractive sector for workers and the next generation to continue healthy European agriculture to grow, and a better access to knowledge and innovation. So the strategic dialogue for the future of agriculture, initially intended to influence European agriculture policy, it also stresses the necessity to mutual understanding and collaboration between stakeholders. So that means that the European Commission is intending to put the sectors closer to the policymaking process and better listen to the sector. And it also aims for competitive, resilient, and sustainable future in the agri-sector. And altogether, the report on the strategic dialogue for the future of agriculture should be read in parallel with Draghi report on the competitiveness of the European industries. So, to answer to the question whether the Green Deal was a successful deal over the last 5 years, probably not. It didn't survive well. The results were very minimal, and it was mainly focusing on environmental issues. It ignored economic as well as social part of the European agribusinesses. To reflect on the last 5 years, we selected 3 of the main objectives that were part of the fresh produce sector. One was the plant-based diet, and to reflect what has been done to support better consumption, higher consumption of fresh fruits and vegetables. The European Commission, due to lack of coherency in its own policy, continued restricting tools to extend the shelf life of fruits and vegetables, so-called food additives, lacked more proactiveness in the promotion policy. Instead of facilitating better access and better prices for the consumers, they also obliged fourth gamma, cut fruits and vegetables, to be labeled with the origin labeling, which finally is resulting in a higher price for the consumer. There was no action at all undertaken within the health policy. There was also no action undertaken to better defend the image of fruits and vegetables. Another objective of the Farm to Fork policy over the last 5 years was to reduce food loss and food waste. But again, in order to better preserve fruits and vegetables, the Commission refused to extend the authorization of food additives, banned plastic packaging, again coming back to the same point, obliged the mandatory origin labeling for pre-cut fruits and vegetables, did not provide better rules to have better access for plant protection products for pre-harvest and post-harvest stages. There was very limited action on the climate change, and there was very limited action in the area of the new breeding techniques. And finally, the overall objectives of the Farm to Fork strategy was more sustainable production. The European Commission proposed a reduction target of 50% of the use of chemical active substances while not providing alternative tools, either chemical alternatives or biocontrol active substances. The European Commission was pushing a lot for an increase of organic production while the demand was extremely low. There was no positive policy elaborated on the new breeding techniques. As mentioned again, there was no enough action undertaken to deal with the climate change, and the recent events on the climate change all across Europe demonstrated that those actions are needed. And finally, the sustainable food production is not about sustainable production itself, but is also about the maintenance of fresh produce after the harvest in order to provide the consumers with the right quality produce. So as from Monday this week, we got the new commission coming in, and I'm going to reflect on the two commissioners which are most important for the European agriculture. First is Christoph Hansen, delegated by the Luxembourgish authorities, and he's going to be defending and working for DG Agriculture and Food Portfolio. To reflect on a few points on the production aspects, he will be elaborating further the rules on the Common Agriculture Policy to ensure that farmers are provided with the right tools to produce food in a sustainable but also financially the way that would return the growers with a financial reimbursement. Together with another commissioner for DG Health, he will be looking on how to reduce the use of pesticides, but at the same time will aim to provide better rules for allowing uses for alternative active substances, such as biocontrol active substances. He also underlines that agricultural emissions must continue to decline. One of the first messages of the commissioner was to promote and to set the rules of the young people to come to work for the European agri-industry. Because today, if we look at the figures, a majority of European growers are way above the age of 45, and there are very few growers below the age of 45. It is also important in his portfolio to tackle mental illness and work stress among the farmers, and also to deliver fair revenues for the growers. He will also work to strengthen the producer organizations, better position the farmers in the entire value chain, and will try to attract more young people to live in rural areas all across the EU, and will also try to cope and find the tools to cope with the climate crisis, environmental crisis, sanitary crisis, and trade disruptions. Another aspect he's going to be dealing with, together with the support of other colleagues, is the labeling rules. But it was very clearly underlined by the Commissioner that any rules, either on labeling or other policy areas, should not be endorsed and promoted if that would result in a higher cost for the European consumer. So affordability of this Commissioner is a key priority. So differently from the last commission, this commissioner will not be looking on how to reduce the meat consumption. This commissioner will be promoting balanced, healthy diets, and that, of course, should include also the consumption of fresh fruits and vegetables. For trade, he advocates for trade reciprocity in order to be able to export to outside the European Union, but also to import, because if you would look at the numbers, today's imports are very high comparing to the produce which is being exported from the European Union to third countries. And finally, what is most important for this kind of event, and also for Moldova, few elements on the enlargement. The Commissioner will further approve the CAP policy to provide the right income to the European growers in order to welcome the new members to the European Union. He also underlined that the strategy needs to protect the existing growers and the prices of goods, the alignment of production standards is a must. Therefore, countries aiming to access the European Union should be in the forefront line and start applying European standards in order to be able not only to export to Europe, but also to be ready to enter the European Union. And the Commissioner also underlined that the enlargement will cost. However, it will also bring independencies on some of the crops, which is very important in order to reduce imports from faraway countries. Another commissioner I wanted to talk about is delegated by Hungary, Olivier Varhelyi. He's going to be responsible for health and animal welfare portfolio. He will aim to promote healthier food choices. So there we see opportunity for the fresh produce industry to advocate better for higher consumption and as well as for better image of fruits and vegetables. He will work hard on the promotion of alternative active substances used to the chemical active substances, and will also try to provide rules to the European countries that would allow faster procedures to authorized chemical and non-chemical alternatives in Europe. Technical innovation through digital tools and precision application techniques is also part of his portfolio. Innovation and modernizing equipment used to apply pesticides is also part of his work in order to reduce emissions and also to reduce the leakage of different kinds of pesticides to the environment. And he will also be focusing on research and innovation to further elaborate on the rules of the new breeding techniques. He also underlined, because this is very important for this discussion, that any food placed in Europe has to be safe, also food imported from non-European countries. Therefore, the alignment of the standards is important, and therefore better controls and traceability is needed to ensure that European consumers are provided with the right quality produce. Few points on the new sustainability approach, because I see I have only 3 minutes left. So since 2014, we have been facing a lot of kind of crisis and incidents, starting with the Russian embargo in 2014, followed by Brexit in 2016. In 2019, we had the PAS Commission entering its mandate, and we had the launch of the Green Deal and the Farm to Fork strategy. Followed by that, we faced the COVID-19 crisis. We faced in 2022 the Russian invasion in Ukraine, followed by the energy crisis and logistical crisis, logistical incidents in the Red Sea, economic crisis in 2023. We noticed evolving, more demanding attitude of the European consumers toward the food they are getting to buy. In 2024, as I mentioned before, we had farmer protests in Brussels and all across the EU. There was stronger focus on so as a result of the farmer protests, there was stronger focus on the independence from non-European countries, because this was one of the reasons why the farmers went on the streets, is to import less from third countries and to better promote European production. As a result of that, there was also a stronger focus on the climate change. And finally, as I mentioned before as well, there was a report in August published on the strategic dialogue of the future of European agriculture. Fruit and vegetable industry in Europe is a pioneer sector, working for more than 25 years on the good agriculture practices and applying the food safety standards to be sustainable and accountable to the produce which is being placed on the market. Under the coordination of the Freshfel Europe, the sector is also involved in the industry-led project showing that the sector is not afraid of the new requirements coming into force, but instead is moving towards those challenges and towards more sustainable practices. So under the coordination of Freshfel Europe, the industry is involved in the Corporate Sustainability Reporting Directive initiative to set one standard on the reporting template so that the sectors are providing same information to the same detail and they are not lost in the pile of different kind of European requirements. And also the sector is involved in the product environmental footprint, and there the sector is working together with a Wageningen University from the Netherlands to set the methodology, the template to calculate the footprint for the fresh produce sector. All around, the European producers are facing a lot of requirements, in addition to those of the legal requirements submitted by the European Commission or national authorities. According to ITC, there are more than 300 sustainability standards covering environmental, social, or food safety areas. Together with Freshfel, the sector has elaborated now a discussion together with the European Commission to see whether we need all these standards or whether most of these standards are overlapping in order to reduce the number of the requirements and see which requirements are those that would ensure that production is safe and of high quality. So Moldova Fruct will follow the activities of Freshfel, and I'm sure they're going to be able to provide the outcome of this discussion to the members. So what is the new sustainability approach? The Green Deal is over, as I mentioned before, or it's not fully implemented because it failed and resulted in the farmer protests. And now we have the strategic dialogue on the future of European agriculture with a much greater focus on competitiveness and less environmental focus. The report itself and the new mission of the European Commission will be better balanced around the 3 pillars of sustainability and not any more disproportionate focus on environmental pillar alone. The Commission is promising simplification of the European legislation and more visibility on what is sustainability, because today we even don't have a definition what sustainability is. And finally, the Commission now has a mandate within 100 days, starting as from Monday, to write a report on the new vision of European agriculture, which will be the Bible for the work of the next 5 years. Very quickly going through the challenges of the European production and access to the consumer. Today's consumer is very different comparing to the consumer years ago. Today's consumer wants a bit of everything. They want fresh produce, they want innovation, they want accessible, to access innovative production, they want high quality, sustainable production. That means no pesticides or no plastics. They want the convenience. They want to eat healthy and nutritious food. They want safety. They want diversity. They want low price. And they also want no additives, no pathogens, and no contaminants all at once. Starting with the packaging policy, which was really on top of the priorities of the association, packaging legislation was adopted, and plastic packaging will no longer be possible in a few years' time to be used on the fresh produce, while other commodity groups like lasting products will be able to continue to use plastic packaging. Today, Freshfel Europe is working together with its members to set pan-European rules in order to gain some exemptions for which commodities plastic can continue to be used. For example, fourth gamma products, cut fruits and vegetables, those kind of products cannot be placed in the container of a paper or in a paper bag. So we need to work closely together with the members and third parties to elaborate a list of products and make a request to the Commission for the exemption in order to provide the European consumer still same quality and same healthy and food, and also to prevent the food waste, which is very likely to happen if those exemptions are not granted. The pesticide policy. A few days ago, we had a board meeting of Freshfel Europe in Brussels, and the pesticide policy was put as a priority once again from all around table. European consumers don't have enough tools to produce healthy, sustainable, and high-quality fresh produce. The number of active substances is reducing very quickly, either because of substances proven not to be safe, substance is no longer to be defended by the producers because of the economic return to the company, or because not wanting to have EFSA to publish the conclusions because of the anticipation that those substances would be recognized to be unsafe. So we're losing a lot of active substances that is affecting different kind of crops within the commodity of fruits and vegetables. It's not affecting only European production, but it's also affecting third country production like Moldova, because if it's not allowed to be used in Europe, the MRLs are going to go down and therefore will also impact the production in supplying countries to the EU. We are advocating for more biocontrol active substances in order to replace chemical substances which are disappearing from the market, and also to advocate for a good number of biocontrol substances in order to be able to fight for all pests and diseases. The mirror clause, which is also relevant for Moldova, the mirror clause initiative was initiated by the French presidency in 2022, which meant that they are demanding for reciprocity of trading standards. That means, initially, if the pesticide is not authorized in the EU, the pesticide can't also be used in a third country if the country wants to export to the EU. Legally speaking, it is impossible to ban the use of active substances in third countries. However, as we say, if not through policy, then through politics. And this year we noticed multiple times that the members of the European Parliament are objecting the initiatives of the European Commission to maintain MRLs of active substances which are not authorized in the European Union. Do I still have 2 minutes? He's gone. So altogether, there are a few challenges that we're facing. Brand protection because of the NGO scrutiny and bad publicity, lab testing uncertainty, lack of confidence in the legislation, loopholes in the legislation, and also the multi-residue effect due to the lack of scientific knowledge. All of that is leading to the private retailer standards set by approximately 60% of the European retailers all across Europe. And those retailer standards are impacting the portion of the MRL, European MRL, legally allowed for the European produce, and also the RFD value. The private standards are not illegal. They are not legally monitored and not legally challenged by the European Commission because this is business-to-business discussion. However, the complexity of the standards provided by different retailers is putting growers in Europe as well as outside Europe in a very competitive position. If you want to gain access to your retailer, you need to use only 30% of you need to provide only 30% of the legal European MRL. And this has been discussed also a few days ago within the board. This is the reality we need to deal with. We can't ask each retailer to remove those standards because the sector has adapted to them and the sector is being challenged. But since this is business-to-business relationship, there is no role for Fresh for Europe to play in order to facilitate more harmonized rules all across Europe. And finally, my really last slide, sorry, Yuri, organics. Organics was demanded to be increased by up to 25% of the European land, which is unrealistic because the demand is much lower. While facing economic crisis, European consumers are not able to buy more expensive produce. It's a niche market and it remains a niche market. So while organic farming can be more sustainable, although sometimes questionable, it's not going to reach the top level which was demanded by the European Commission over the last 5 years. And thank you very much for giving me the floor, and sorry for the time that I took.